Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is Point of View. I am Shirley. Cleester's working. Merethah's working. Eula's working. I think Eula's working today. And if she's not, she's still uh, making preparations for Clifford, her brother and my first cousin, for his memorial. Clifford left us. He's transitioned into eternity. He's now waiting on his eternal assignment. And so we are praying for them, praying for them. And I'm praying for you too. And I'm thanking God because He's allowed me to be on here one more time. And also, today is Merethah's birthday, my baby sister. Today is her birthday. So please, please, if you go by her page or if you have her phone number, please tell her happy birthday today. Happy birthday, baby sister. And I've already talked with her this morning, and I did one of our family birthday songs that the Lord blessed me to compose. And so we're just celebrating her today. Celebrating her today. All right. That's life. That's life is my topic for today. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. It's a wonderful day, and for that I am so, so, so happy. That's life. And there's a song called That's Life by Frank Sinatra. And I'm going to read those lyrics. That's Life by Frank Sinatra. That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm going to change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said, that's life. That's life. And we know this song, that's life. That's life. Okay. And the second verse, it said, I said, that's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stumping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. That's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one simple try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. That's life. That's life, and I can't deny it. Many times I've thought of cutting out, but my heart won't must be won't buy it. But there's nothing shaking come this here July. But if there's nothing shaking come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die. My. So we don't want that to happen to any of us, do we? That's life, and that's by Frank Sinatra. By Frank Sinatra. Okay, and I've given them credit for that. That's life, that's life, that's what all the people say. You're riding high in April and shot down in May. But I know I'm going to change that too when I'm back on top in June. And we have to be positive. We have to be positive about life, okay? We have no control over it. We know that for a fact. It matters not how much we try to control life. It's only in the control of the Almighty, and that's God, the Heavenly Father. People can say what they want, however they want to, they can deny it, but the fact is that they, me, you, nobody, nowhere, no how in this world has any control over life. We see it from day to day to day, okay? From one microsecond to the millisecond to the second to the minute to the hour to the day to the week to the month through the years. Come what may, none of us has control over life, but the life that we have, what we're doing right now, we can make the best. So we don't have to roll up in a roll ball and die. All right? We don't have to do that. So let's live this life and live it to the fullest. All right. So let me go to my article here. That's life. That's what people say. Okay, let me find my article. I tried something different here with my screens. So I want to pull that back up and let me find it. Psychology Today. And this is from Amanda Dodson, LCSW. So let me get up here what she's talking about life. That's life. That is life. Amanda is helping us out with this today in Psychology Today. And I'm getting back up to the top of that. And like I said, I trust, I pray that you are doing well today. Thank you so much for being with me on Point of View. And don't forget, today is Merethah's birthday. Oh, yes, I'm just so happy. 6 ways to make meaning of life. And this is by Amanda Dodson. And this is a Psychology Today uh, reading. A few ideas to kick off the search for the meaning of your existence. Here are the key points. Finding life's purpose can promote resilience during times of suffering. Next, for the non religious, building a personal system of meaning is a necessary but daunting task. Altruism, this is the next one, self knowledge, fatalism, absurdism, and surrender are all ways to make sense of life. So, given that the universe is infinite and continually expanding, finding the meaning of life is a comically tall order. We'll save finding the meaning of life, all life, for another day, but finding the meaning of your life, of my life. We're going to talk about that today, okay? But finding the meaning of your life specifically can help you remain resilient through illness, through trauma, and loss. Oh, yes. Meaning acts as an internal compass on the twisting journey of life. Meaning, Meaning, acts as an internal compass on the twisting journey of life. Okay, so losing your sense of life's meaning can land you in an existential depression. And we do not want to go there, do we? So many people have made that trip. Some have made it out and some haven't. Okay? So it's hard to get out of bed in the morning when every day feels meaningless. If you have a religious or faith tradition, you have an existing structure of meaning slash role models or dash role models, stories, and codes of behavior to guide you on your path. But for the growing population of non religious folks, meaning may be more difficult to discern. So you have to create a personalized internal system of meaning slash a dash and often. You're starting from scratch. When people have nothing to look forward to, they have no structure, they have no guidelines, it seems like it's hopeless. Yes. So there is no structure, no guideline, no certainty of life after death, no pressure. So, to kick that start, to kickstart your meaning quest, trying to find out what your meaning in life is. If you have no guideline, no structure, nothing to look forward to, nothing to build on. So to kickstart your meaning quest, she says, I would like to propose 5 options for the meaning of life, along with the benefits and pitfalls of each. So choose wisely, she says. She's suggesting that you choose wisely. Let me monitor here because I want to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. Let me get it so I can look at it. Oh, yes, I'm on here. I am on here. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. Why am I on the side of this thing? Okay, there it is. There it is. Cleester. Hi, sister. Hi, sister. Option number 1. The meaning of life is human connection. Okay? The meaning of life is human connection. The pros. Here are the pros of the meaning of life and the human connection. There's altruism, okay? Justice and service are values that everyone can get. Altruism, we know that we like to go and talk about some of these words if we don't already know what they are. Some of us do, some of us don't. Some we read the words, we read on. Altruism is a principle and practice of concern for the well-being and or happiness of other humans or animals above oneself. So that's caring for someone else above yourself. Okay. So the pros: human connection, that's altruism, caring more for someone else's than you well-being than yourself. There's justice and service. Okay, we know what justice is, and we feel that we know what justice is, but I'm still going to go there with justice. Okay, what is justice? Justice, in its broadest sense, is the concept that individuals are to be treated in a manner that is equitable and fair. Okay? Be treated in a manner that is to be equitable and fair. That's what justice is. And service. What is service? Let's go. Hey, these are words that we use so many times and not every day. But let's just see service. A service is an act or use for which a consumer, a firm, or government is willing to pay. Examples include work done by barbers and doctors, and then that service can be someone helping you with something. If it's counseling or something like that, that's a service too, okay? So the pros of the human connection, the meaning of life is human connection. That is option number 1. And she has said, choose wisely, okay? Choose wisely. So we talked about altruism, justice, and service. They are values that everyone can get behind. So that's why these values are prominent in faith traditions around the world, forming meaningful, loving relationships is about as close to miraculous as you get in a non-religious life. Spend your life looking for opportunities to help. Spend your life looking for opportunities to help. Focus on developing your kindness and patience with others. That is good. That is good. What are the cons? Here the cons are. You can't devote yourself to service without wrestling with these questions. Who is worthy of being helped? What is the best, most effective way to help? Who gets the limited resources? This presents some thorny ethical dilemmas that can throw a wrench in your meaning making process. All right? So, this way of living also requires you to face your powerlessness to help everyone, as well as the full weight of human suffering. My goodness. Talking about that's life. Two words. That's life. That's life. And option number two, the meaning of life is determined by fate. My goodness. The pros of this second part here. The pros, everything happens for a reason. How many times have we said that? How many times have we heard it? Everything happens for a reason. All your experiences lead you to become who you were meant to be. This can be a very comforting way of making meaning out of difficult experiences. So, it imbues painful events with purpose because you cannot have become the person you are today without suffering. My goodness. And there's this word here. I've come across this word twice. Imbues, imbues. I came one of my sessions I was doing, imbues was in there. What does imbue mean? Okay, third person present. Inspire or permeate with a feeling of quality. Okay, and the example here is the entire performance was imbued with sparkle and elan. Okay, so what it is a third person present. Now let's get back to this. It imbues painful events with purpose because you could not become the person you are today without suffering. Now, what are the cons of this second part here? It can be difficult to make sense of fate if something horrific happens to you. So, what you may think could be a compelling enough reason for a senseless, violent death or the suffering of a helpless child. My goodness. So what you may think could be a compelling enough reason for a senseless, violent death or the suffering of a helpless child. So you also need to consider who exactly is directing the fate of the universe and wrestle with it with fate's sense of fairness, with which you may not always agree. And we do sometimes, we say, how could that happen? Sometimes why did that happen? But yet we still realize that there's nothing we could do to stop it, to make it better. Nothing we can do. So we're making meaning of life. So option number three, the meaning of life is self actualization. So, what are the pros to this part? Becoming your best self is the most important project of your life. And that's for real. And if we focus on ourselves, we could get more done for ourselves and then spread all of the goodness out to other people. But so many people are focused on somebody else, trying to make sure somebody else is being like they want them to be instead of controlling or doing the best that they can to make the best of their own lives. We have so much stuff going on in this world, don't we? So the meaning of life is self actualization. Talking about the pros now, becoming your best self is the most important project of your life. This isn't about being selfish or self centered. This is about fully owning your personal responsibility. fully owning your personal responsibility. You are the only thing that you can control in a chaotic world. You, you are the only thing that you can control in a chaotic world. So let me get to know your strengths, your limitations, weaknesses, and passions in intimate detail. You have to know yourself. We talk about that so often. Know yourself. You have to know who you are in order to be effective in helping other people. You have to realize who you are. What does it say? The meaning of life is self actualization. You have to know yourself. You have to know your strengths. You have to know your limitations. You have to know your weaknesses and passions in intimate detail. Not just know them, acknowledge them. Okay? So devote yourself to personal growth. Then we come down to the cons of that section. When you focus on self knowledge, you run the risk of isolating yourself from others. Also, part of the human experience is feeling confusion and ambivalence. What is ambivalence? Let's go here to ambivalence. All righty, dighty here. Ambivalence is a state of having simultaneous conflicting reactions, beliefs, or feelings towards some object. Okay? Towards some object is a state of having simultaneous conflicting reactions, beliefs, or feelings towards some object. So that's what ambivalence is. Whoa, Nelly. This is some good knowledge here, is it? And we know what confusion is, but we might as well go there too. Confusion, these are the cons of this section right here. Confusion. And we have been confused. As David said, sometimes he'd be talking and he'll say, people say, I'm confused. So some people are confused. Okay? So confusion is the lack of understanding, is uncertainty. The lack of understanding is uncertainty. I am confused. And many people are confused. And we have been confused at many, many times, okay? We didn't realize, hey, what is this? How do you make sense of this? So everyone has moments when they are unsure of who they are or what they want. So if you hang your hat on self knowledge, it can be very frightening to face the fact that you may never fully know yourself all the way down. And that is so true. We need to spend our lives trying to find out who we are and be who we are, and then we can be better towards other people. The fourth option here, we're talking about that's life. Two words, that's life. Option number four, the meaning of life is to enjoy it. Oh, yes, I totally agree with this. The pros, a field of wildflowers, a baby's laugh, a sunset over the ocean, and I am waiting to see that in a couple of weeks, God willing. See that ocean. There are so many beautiful, delightful things out there. Dance parties, ooh, ooh, ooh. Chocolate bars, yes, yes, yes. Hugs, oh yes. With a reasonable degree of certainty, you know that you only have one life and your time is finite. You might as well devote yourself to fully enjoying the beauty and pleasure of simply being alive. Do that, enjoy your life. We stress that so often on here. We have one life that has been allotted to us by God. Now, some people have Their breath, their heart stopped, their life, the natural life is gone out of them, and they have been brought back. And so I guess you could count that as two lives, huh? And sometimes some have gone out more than twice. But let's just look at it like this. We might as well devote ourselves to fully enjoying the beauty and pleasure of simply living and being alive. So enjoy the hugs, enjoy the chocolate bars. Haven't had one. Oh, yes, I did. I think I had one last week. Oh, it was so good. I never had that one before. And it was only, I think, 450 calories. But it was real good. So, with a reasonable degree of certainty, you know that you only have one life. And I know I'm repeating this because this is very important. And your time is finite. That means there's a limitation on your time. So you might as well devote yourself to fully enjoying the beauty and the pleasure of simply being alive. So, what are the cons to this? Enjoyment, unfortunately, is not equal opportunity, and that's for real. So if you have more money, time, and resources, you have more access to beautiful sights and pleasurable activities. Knowing that not everyone can share in your enjoyment can make it feel a little hollow. This way of living also requires you to keep an eye on yourself so that you don't become a self centered hedonist. Okay, let's see what this hedonist is. Okay, this hedonist or hedonist. Let's see what the pronunciation is. Uh huh. Hedonist. Hedonist. What is a hedonist? A person who believes that the pursuit of pleasure is the most important thing in life, a pleasure seeker. That's what a hedonist is. A hedonist, okay? We got that straight. We know what a hedonist is, right? Okay. So this way of living also requires you to keep an eye on yourself so that you don't become a self-centered hedonist. So that's somebody with the big head, okay? All right. Option number 5. The meaning of life is that life has no meaning. Whoa. So, what are the pros to this? Nothing means anything, and that's okay. Nothing means anything, and that's okay. So, the universe is a chaotic system devoid of order. Wonderful events and terrible misfortunes happen in equal randomness. So, you have no control and can finally surrender to the ebbs and flows of life. And you see, it tells us we have no control. So that's life. And this way of thinking is known as absurdism. Absurdism. Absurd. We've used it. That's so absurd. We've used that's so absurd. Okay, so let's see what absurdism is. Philosophical theory. Absurdism is a philosophical theory that the universe is irrational and meaningless. It states that trying to find meaning leads people into, and it wants me to go to another thing here. But what it is, I'm just going to read that first part again because I don't want to get my pages and then get me all, get have to go here and there and then try to find my way back. So I'm not going to do that today. Absurdism is a philosophical theory that the universe is irrational and meaningless. My goodness. Whoa, Nelly. So when we say, oh, that's absurd, that means it's irrational and it's meaningless. So when we hear people say, oh, that's so absurd. All right. So regard the chaos of the universe with dark humor. Celebrate when something good happens because it was not guaranteed. And that's for real. Not being somber, not being downplaying this, but it's for real. This lady is speaking the truth. So she says, celebrate when something good happens because it was not guaranteed. It was not guaranteed. When something bad happens, understand that it was not a punishment. So you are united with the rest of humanity in your helplessness, in your joy, and your suffering. Everybody suffers sometime or another. Now, those were the pros. Now, let's look at the cons. All of humanity is in a tiny boat out at sea, being tossed by the whims of the universe. We're all in the same boat. Last one of us. We're in the same boat. Yes, we are. So why not just love each other, try to help each other as much as we possibly can with the span of life that we have. Treat your brothers and your sisters right. Treat people like you want to be treated. We're all in the same boat. We all have the same color blood. Our skin tones may be different, but we're all the same on the inside. We are all human beings. We are all made by God. So we're all in the same boat. We all live, and then we have to be relieved of these mortal bodies someday because there's another part of life, and that's eternal life or eternal damnation, death. So we have to make the best of what we have while we're in these mortal bodies. So we're tossed about. All of humanity is in a tiny boat out at sea, being tossed by the whims of the universe. Nobody is immune to this. We're all in the same boat. So that is frankly terrifying. And yes, it is, but it's also frankly true. All right. So on good days, it's easy to view the chaotic universe with tenderness and humor. So if you believe life is meaningless on bad days, it's easy to lose motivation to build a good life. So please don't lose your motivation. Just like the end of that Frank Sinatra song said, if it doesn't get any better, I'm just gonna what is it? Roll myself up in a big old ball and die. We ain't having none of that. No, we're not. You're not rolling up in a ball and you ain't going to die until it's time to leave this world, whether it is being changed from the living mortal body into the immortal body, or whether you're already in the grave and then you're caught up and then you're going to go up. But this old body going to have to stay some, drop off. But while you have this body, we're not going to let you roll yourself up in a ball and die. And you're not going to let me do that either. That's life. We have to take the pros with the cons. And we can make the best of what we have while we have it. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the next microsecond. Just make sure in this microsecond you're living the best and you're being as happy as you possibly can be. Okay? Option number 6, the meaning of life is unknowable. The pros: how could you be expected to wrap your mind around the vastness of space? So you are only a teensy tiny sliver of the known universe. That is something, but that is really true. That is really true. You are only a teensy tiny sliver of the known universe. Take it easy on yourself. So why should your human brain be able to make sense of life when there are so many things you do not and will not ever know? So instead of passively letting life happen to you, make peace with the fact that you will never understand the universe. Never ever will we understand it. But and we can make the best of the part of it that we share and we have and that we have been gifted with. All right? So fully embrace the unsolvable mystery of life. Now, what are the cons? We are neurotically wired to try to make sense of our experience, surrendering to the fact that you will never know is actually pretty difficult. The mind resists it. This is a continual practice of letting go, embracing humility, and yielding to not knowing. There are some things we will never, ever, ever know. But those things that we have at present, embrace them. Embrace the things that we have at the present. It is so, so important that we embrace everything that we have. Now, let me get myself back to my screen here. This has been wonderful. I have enjoyed this. This is so good. But if I can get myself back to where I should be, my screen here, there I am. So that was the meaning of life is unknowable. That was the sixth option, and I told you about the author Amanda Stuckey Dodson, LCSW, is a therapist in private practice specializing in the treatment of eating disorders and meaning making after trauma. All right. So I love you so much. I thank you so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure to come to you today. And don't forget, today is Merethah's birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday to you. And that is a song that's a family birthday song that God gave to me. That is one. And I think this might be the first time. No, it's on the radio station with the full beat and everything. So I love you so much. I love you so much. And I really, really, truly thank you for being with me on Point of View. And I'm not going to continue and I'm not going to jibber jabber. And I'm not going to prolong the time. As we've heard so many say. And some people say I'm not going to belabor the time. But I'm going to sign off. And I thank you so much for joining me right here on Point of View. I love you so much. And God willing, I will see you or you will see me on Thursday, God willing. Remember, that's life. Make the best of it, okay?